welcome back to another weekly vlog, and you are joining me this week as we get back on track. I got back from Greece on Saturday night, technically Sunday morning. I got back at 2 AM yesterday. It's Monday today and we are getting straight back into it. Something I get asked so much is how to get back on track. How do I get back on track? And the honest answer is, which sounds really obvious, you just have to do it. Like, there is no single big secret or big tip that I can tell you that is going to get you back on track. You know, no one else knows about, like, what's this big secret? There is no big secret. You have to go and do. And I've spoken about this before, but as soon as you put things in motion, as soon as you have a bit of momentum behind you, like for example, the first thing I'm doing today is going to the gym. I'm getting that momentum started. Then I'm going to go and do a food shop. Are little tips and tricks that you can use to help you get back on track, but there is no big stinking secret that everyone's trying to keep from you. Really is a case of you have to want to get back on track, and then you have to do the things that will get you back on track. Going to the gym, doing a food shop. So we're going to do all that stuff today. Remove all the barriers as quickly as possible to you not getting back on track. So for example, if you've been away and you've taken gym stuff with you, all your gym stuff now needs washing, wash it. As soon as you get back, that's going to be the first wash that you do. Little things that are going to make it seem so much harder to get to the gym. You might want to meal prep your breakfast for that morning the night before. You might want to decide what you're going to wear to the gym the night before. I did that last night. I was like, I want to wear ultraviolet and a white sports bra. So this morning I'm not needing to think, oh, what am I wearing, what am I doing, but I've removed all those barriers. Another huge barrier for me getting back on track is not having the food in the fridge that I want to eat, not having enough protein in, not having enough micronutrients in the fridge, not having the stuff that I want to make the food that I really want to eat. So I'm going to go and do a food shop straight after the gym. Those are my two main priorities. And also, like I said, the momentum. You need a little bit of momentum behind you and it will go a long way. So the first thing I'm doing today, first day like fully back on it. Yesterday I was sorting out work stuff. Today, first thing I am doing is going to the gym. That's the first thing I'm doing, getting the momentum behind me, and then we will be on a breeze. And when I say back on track, I don't mean like I've completely fallen. I was on bloody holiday. You know, life is for living, life is for making memories, life is for enjoying. I do not want to be coming back off a holiday and thinking I did not enjoy myself, I didn't eat what I wanted to eat, I didn't enjoy like the food of that particular culture because I was so scared about food, or I was dragging myself to go to the gym and wasting hours in the gym every day when really I could have been sunbathing or chilling or sightseeing or doing something else. I don't feel that way at all. I actually feel perfectly well rested because I've given myself that time to basically do fuck all and experience another culture. That is what holidays are all about for me. I will not lie, it didn't feel that easy getting up this morning, but you just have to go on autopilot. I knew I needed breakfast, I knew what I was going to have for breakfast. You're going to want to remove as many barriers as fast as possible. I would say the two main things you should probably do is go and get a gym session in. I don't care if it's not perfect, I don't care how it goes, I don't care if it's not your favourite session, although you might want to do your favourite session. It might make it feel easier to get yourself to the gym, and get a food shop in. Those would be my two main things because I think those are going to be y'all's biggest barriers. Let's go to the gym. I'm going to try film my workout. My car has been saying I've got a loss of pressure in a tyre for a while now. I should probably look at that. I'm going to hit glutes. I'm going to try and film it. If it's busy, I won't be able to film it. If it's not busy, I will film it. So yeah, we're going to go to the gym and then Marks and Spencer's for a food shop.
Okay, so let's talk all things getting back on track with your training, post-trip, post a little bit of time off. So things that you might want to expect. A workout might feel harder than it used to before you went away. A workout might feel heavier than it used to before you went away. You might feel a little bit weaker, your performance might take a little bit of a dip, and the session might just feel a little bit harder because you're not used to it. But also, a lot of people, and this is why I will never say to people go into the gym after a week off expecting to be weaker, a lot of people have the experience of taking a week off or taking a couple of days off for a trip, for whatever, and coming back and actually hitting PBs and being stronger because their body has had the rest it's needed. Now, that was not my experience this session, but for that reason, I didn't go back into the gym, especially because I did train twice whilst I was away. I didn't go into the gym and put like 50 kilos less on my lifts. I didn't do my cable step ups at, 25 kilos instead of 40. I did them at 35, I think, instead, just to sort of ease myself back into it. But after this set, I actually ended up putting it back up to 40 because it felt fine. Other movements, like my hip thrust, for example, those did feel a lot heavier. And so I did actually end up doing those a little bit lighter and keeping them a little bit lighter. But the point that I'm getting at is these are things that you can and maybe should expect when you've had time off training coming back into the gym, because I don't want to set you guys up to feel like a failure or feel like there's something wrong with you if you are weaker after time off. But I also don't want to set you up to go back into the gym and basically act like a little bitch and think that you need to lift significantly lighter when you've only had a week off. Obviously, if you've been like traveling around the world and you've taken a lot of time off and it's been a big trip, it would be wise to drop your weights when you come back in. But generally, that is something that you might expect, is that you might be a little bit weaker. It also can have the opposite effect. So just see what ballpark or what side of the coin you are falling on post-trip. Something else that you can expect as well is that recovery might feel a little bit tougher. I've definitely had a lot more soreness this week because obviously I've gone from training legs once or twice a week whilst I was away, or the week before, to doing 3 sessions this week. So I have had a little bit more soreness. I've just been prioritising sleep. And yeah, those would be the things that I would say that you guys should be expecting. But also, like I've said, don't think that you are going to be significantly weaker when you've only had a small chunk of time off, because you very well might not be, and you don't want to waste your training sessions basically.
The gym is done. I've just been and done a food shop. There is some stuff in here which is for, I'm having an evening with my friends and my sister tonight. She's actually telling them that she's having a baby tonight, so I'll have more people to talk about it with, because right now the only person I can talk to is my sister and my boyfriend. So some of this stuff is for that, but then the rest of it is my food shop. Some of this stuff is for tonight. These are like the nicest crisp, and they're especially nice with most of the dips from Marks and Spencer's. But then I also got a plain option in case anyone doesn't want flavour. I then got 3 dips. This is Kennedy's favourite, and she requested a Mexican dip. Probably my favourite of like the fancier dips, other than that Greek one that they do. I then just got guacamole and salsa. This isn't my favourite salsa. I prefer the one that's in this packaging, but I can never find it anymore. Have they stopped doing it? Does anyone work at Marks and Spencer? They stopped doing like the best salsa, because that is the best salsa. On to my actual food shop. I have got broccoli for some micronutrients. I've got some tomatoes because I'm still loving a Greek salad, and I feel like I'm loving a Greek salad even more now that I've just got back from Greece. I was having them every day, so I need to get my little kick in, my little hit of a Greek salad in. Plus I do actually have Greek salad seasoning now. I bought Greek salad seasoning, gyros seasoning, souvlaki seasoning, and a tzatziki seasoning. So I'm going to try and make my own tzatziki at some point as well. I also got red onions for my salads. I also got cucumber, bought some more micronutrients for yogurt bowls. I've got some raspberries and blueberries for my yogurt bowls. I always only end up getting one, and then I end up running out of yogurt within 2 days because I will eat half at a time. Prepare myself again, removing that barrier, because I would rather reach for a yogurt bowl than something else. So I made sure that I've stocked up so that I've pretty much got these all week, almost, at least till Thursday. Feta cheese, obviously, for my salads. For carbs, I've got some mini potatoes. I love doing these with like Italian seasoning and olive oil in the air fryer. They are delicious, and then I add them to like salad bowls, or I'll have like potatoes, broccoli and beef or chicken or something. I then got some 5% lean beef mince as one of my protein sources. Bacon medallions for breakfast. It's probably like my favourite thing to have for breakfast. And then just some chicken. Chicken stays in my weekly shop. I can't remember the last time I did a weekly shop and didn't get chicken. It's just so easy, and especially if you are in a deficit. I'm not saying you can't have other protein sources, you can, and you should vary things, you should vary your diet. It's definitely the most bang for your buck, that or white fish calorie to protein ratio. Chicken thigh is better in my opinion, but it's got a much higher fat content, so like 100 grams of chicken thigh is going to have a lot more calories than 100 grams of chicken breast, if that makes sense. And just for the ratios, chicken breast makes a little bit more sense right now for my goals. Yeah, that's my food shop. I'm now going to make myself a Greek salad for lunch and crack on with editing, because I really need to finish editing my Greece vlog, because as of right now I didn't have an upload last week because I got back at 2 AM. I'm going to crack on with that, and I will catch you in a bit. Morning. This is meant to be a weekly vlog, but I didn't film anything yesterday because yesterday I was slammed with work. It was my first check-in day back since being away. So I had all my client check-ins to do. I needed to finish editing the Greece vlog, which took me so much longer than I expected. I ended up with like 4 hours of footage. So I basically got up and started working on that and client check-ins, and stopped at about 8 PM. I also did let everyone know yesterday about my sister being pregnant. My sister finally told everyone, and she posted about it light, so she was like, you've got the green light, you can post about it. I did a couple Instagram stories and stuff, and honestly it made me so emotional. But obviously the last time I spoke to you was Monday before I went to the gym. I was going to see my sister and my best friends that night to tell them that she was pregnant. So my sister did actually have me like sit on a separate chair and like get my phone out slowly and film it. So I am actually going to pop in their reactions here, just because I know this is like a fitnessy vlog and a getting back on track vlog, but I feel like because it happened this week it makes sense to share it here. And it was honestly just so nice. I couldn't stop crying yesterday when I was like looking back at like my reaction, their reaction, just thinking about the fact that my sister is literally having a baby. I will also put my reaction in, but I think my reaction is probably the worst reaction to a pregnancy announcement I've ever seen, because my sister's husband stopped filming when things got wholesome and like I hugged my sister. But at first I was genuinely so shocked. My sister basically threw a pregnancy test at me. I genuinely, it sounds really dramatic, but I feel like I remember feeling like instantly like lightheaded and like what the fuck, like I felt really overwhelmed with emotion, and then I cried. But I cried like I'd had really bad news, but it wasn't a bad cry, it was a good cry. I was just feeling very, very emotional. So I'm going to pop those clips in here to show you guys. No, I'm scared. You're going to prank me. What is it? Why? No, you're going to prank me. What have you got? She's got a weird spider thing, hasn't she? No. Oh my god! Wait, are you actually pregnant? Oh my god, I wasn't expecting that! Sick.
Yeah, we're loving it. Oh my god!
Don't.
Do you know, I got a feeling earlier, right? I got a feeling earlier, right, that you were going to be pregnant today.
Don't. Oh my god!
I actually love it. It's making me sad. Oh. I was showing how many waffle that was.
I don't even know what they're not even actual pictures. I just picked this random shit up.
Oh my god.
But yeah, my sister's having a little baby. She finds out the gender next week, and I'm just honestly so excited. I've known about this for like 2 months and I've not been able to say anything. And I think it's nice that for my sister now that everyone knows and it's out in the open. And but yeah, I'm very, very, very excited to be an auntie, but honestly more excited to see my sister as a mum, because she is oh my god, no. I actually can't talk about it too much because I will cry again. She is absolutely perfect for it, and I don't like saying that because I feel like there's a bit of like a thing about saying like a woman is made to be a mum, and I don't believe that all women are made to be mums, but my sister really is like perfect to be a mum. She is the most maternal, caring, kind, gentle person. And I was saying on Instagram yesterday, I said at my sister's wedding that I was the luckiest person in the room because I've had her with me since every second since I've been born. I've never done life without her. This little baby, this little Baba Ganoush, as we've been calling it, is going to be the luckiest, like takes me off the top spot as the luckiest, because they get to have her for every second of their life, but they get to experience her as a mum, and I just think that's so special. Anyway, I'm back to starting vlogging today because basically the long story short of yesterday was I was so slammed with work that I was like, I've said this before, it's literally just going to be me picking up a camera telling you I'm doing work, maybe doing a time lapse, and that's it. And I don't know, do you guys like seeing time lapses of people doing work in vlogs? Like, I do it sometimes, but yesterday I was like, I'm literally will start the vlog and say I've got a load of work to do, time lapse it, and then I'll have to capture them up tomorrow. So let me know about that. But I'm about to go to the gym. I'm gonna go and do quad day today. I'm not filming it, but I did do this workout like 2 vlogs ago, so if you want to see it, it is in that vlog. I do need to do cardio because I didn't do any cardio yesterday, so I'm gonna do a little bit of cardio afterwards. Actually, I need to do my counts. That's what I need to do. So I'll take you along. Oh, guys, I'm about to get ready to go for a big old walk with twinkle toes, but I've just been having my breakfast at my kitchen table, which I have to show you guys this. My dad gets private eye, but he's got it every month since I think the first one that it goes back to is 2002. So this is how many he's got. It fills up the entirety of the table. He says that like this one is worth like £20, but it goes all the way around the back of here as well. He's got so many. This is crazy. If anyone, I mean, I think he is going to sell them. If anyone wants any private eyes, My dad's got plenty. By the way, we don't live in like a hoarding household. I'm actually not sure where my dad has kept these because I've not seen them. You better not ever say anything to me about my activewear collection ever again. I've actually just had my own stuff to clear out. There was basically like a massive box in the computer room. It's basically like a tiny room. I think it would be classed as another bedroom, but I'll be real, I don't think you could fit a bed in there, but they'd probably make you class it as a bedroom. And there was like a massive box that had some of like my old uni and even like primary school stuff in there, so I've just been going through that. Kept quite a few things because maybe it does run in the family. I'm a little bit sentimental. Like, I've kept my like early stages development book. I might actually show you some of that stuff because it is actually really, I think it's cute. It's like, Amy does well with talking to other adults in the classroom and answering questions, but doesn't give much information. She is a quiet member of the class that relates well to other children. And I'm just like, damn, I've literally had no development since I was like 6. And then I found some of my old uni work. Like, I found one of my essays from 2019 that I did on Alphalete, where I analysed their influencer marketing strategy and also the website, which is obviously very spooky looking back on that now because I then started working with them properly in 2020, so that's kind of spooky. Found a Gymshark essay plan, which that essay was like my highest scored thing I did at uni. I got like high 90s, and if you've been to uni in the UK, I used to think that it was impossible to get anything above a 90 because that's the only thing I got above 90 on. I did so well at A levels and GCSE and like all through school. I did pretty well, to be honest. When I went to uni, oh, it's different kettle of fish, different kettle of fish. Doing my skincare, and then I'm gonna go, and I did get some activewear pieces recently. Say recently, it literally has come in this morning for research purposes, so I obviously won't show you those because it's not Alphalete, but there's just some things that I wanted to try from other brands and then feed back to Alphalete about if it's worth feeding back about if I actually like them. So I'm just doing my skincare, but I'm using all the stuff that I got from the Greek pharmacy. I might need a Greek plug, or if there is anywhere in the UK where I can get Currys, you let me know, because when this runs out I think I'll be really sad. Really enjoying using that serum. I've been putting this serum on top. Just feel like my skin is really enjoying having these products on it. And then on a night time I have been using like a thicker moisturizer, but through the day I've just been leaving it as these two serums. It's the Currys Smart Yogurt Serum, and it's just so nice. And then obviously I've spoken about this one to death, the xxxxxxx, which actually I may as well give you a periodic dermatitis update. I did end up getting antibiotics. They came the day before I left for Greece, and I definitely think now that I have used them, well, I'm still using them, I still need to finish using them. That's just reminding me I need to take my antibiotic for today. I think I've realised since using them it was definitely a combination of the antibiotics and the Protopic that worked for me last time, because it's pretty much gone again. But I am almost expecting that when my antibiotics run out I'll probably have like a month where my skin's clear and then it might come back again. And I'm kind of expecting that to happen, and then if that does happen I'm going to go and see a dermatologist again. Anyone has a recommendation for a good dermatologist in Leeds, please let me know. I did like the one that I went to last time, but I just feel like because they've already given me this solution, I just feel like I'm going to go back and they're going to prescribe me the same things again, but then I'm just on this hamster wheel of being on antibiotics like every other month, which I don't want to be. I'm not against taking medicine and taking tablets and taking antibiotics if I need them. I do know that taking antibiotics all the time is definitely not good for like your gut and your stomach, and it's not something I want to be taking all the time anyway. I would rather fix the issue and like manage it. So if anyone has any good dermatologist recommendations for the Leeds or Bradford region, even Manchester, I would happily travel to Manchester. And especially if you are someone who's had perioral dermatitis, that's obviously my skin concern, please let me know. I would massively appreciate it. Or if anyone knows anyone that does like online. But yeah, whilst I was yapping about that, I've then used this eye cream, which is the Currys Advanced Wrinkle Smoothing Eye and Lip Contour Cream. It's part of the menopausal range, which I didn't realise when I bought it, but when I was away in Greece, because my skin was so irritated under my eyes from like rash sort of thing that I was getting, which is definitely related to whatever goes on around here, it comes up at the same time, it's definitely related. It was getting so dry, especially being in the sun and stuff. It was giving me like a permanent line basically here. I was like, I know I need something extra under my eye, and I found this in the pharmacy, and I am not joking, I might be an eye cream convert, because this has completely gotten rid of it. Like, it's gone, and it's the nicest eye cream I've ever used. I've only ever used I'm saying that I've literally used probably like 3 or 4 eye creams. The only other one I can think of that I did enjoy was the Kiehl's avocado one, but I would definitely choose this one over that. It just really made me laugh that after I got it I was like, oh, it's actually for menopausal women. So Thursday today. I'm kind of like kicking myself about this vlog because I don't want to like moan about my own vlogs to you guys because you're obviously watching it for a reason, but I was like, yeah, we're going to do this like getting back on track vlog and we're going to be super productive. I need to get better at this because the days where I need to be super productive, I cannot film because I'll get distracted and then I'm not going to get done what I need to get done. So then it feels like you don't actually see the productive days because I really struggle to remember, which most people would. I feel like as a content creator you can't forget to do that, but I do because when I'm busy and like I'm in the zone, I just don't remember to pick up my camera and like show you all how productive I'm being. Also, I just feel like sometimes it's a little bit annoying to watch that sort of stuff. I don't know, but yesterday I hit my step goal. Monday and Tuesday I did not. I think my average steps for the week right now is 3,000. Yeah, that's my average steps for the week. But as you can see, yesterday I got, well, my phone says 7,000, my Aura ring says like 7.5, so I'm going with my Aura ring. So that's why me and Twinkle Toes are going to go for a big fat walk this morning just to help start getting my average step count up because that is a big part of me getting back on track. I wore my Aura ring the first few days on holiday and then it died and I decided not to recharge it because I think because it was so hot, obviously my heart rate must have been high and it must have been showing that I was stressed. So every morning I was waking up with a readiness score of like 50 and it was saying my recovery was awful and I was experiencing high stress for most of the day even though I felt really relaxed. It was just really annoying me because I was like, I'm on holiday. I expected my scores to be super high because I'm taking some R&R, but obviously because of the heat it wasn't. That was annoying. So I did have my charger with me, but I decided not to actually recharge it. And then when I came home, Tuesday's readiness was 68, so we got a fair on Tuesday. Yesterday we got 75 and today we got 92. So we're on the up and my resilience is showing us on the up. It actually dropped back down to adequate and now I'm back up to strong again. So clearly I am getting back in the swing of things and my body is getting used to being back in the swing of things because it was super low 2 days ago, but now it's on the up again, it's on the increase. So I'm very, very, very happy about that. I have no complaints there. Yeah, I did find it interesting because I thought when I came back off holiday at least my first readiness score would be super high because I've had basically 10 days of not doing that much, but it was actually quite low. So yeah, it shows at least that my physiological signs are definitely getting back on track and getting there. But yeah, we want to basically go and get some steps in and go get an iced coffee and just go and get outside because I feel like I've not been outside that much this week. It's been a bit miserable in the UK, like a little bit sunny but then like absolutely pissing it down raining. So also the first day that I've been back where I've not had a decorator in my mum and dad's house because they've actually been getting the hallway redone, which is why there's some stuff in the background, but that's done now. So we have like a completely free house and I've also eaten the vast majority of the food that I got the other day. So I need to actually go and do another food shop. So I will take you guys along with that today and we're just going to have a day of a little bit of active recovery because I went and hit legs yesterday and I was going to go and do a hot Pilates class today, but I didn't book onto it, and to be honest I'm glad I didn't because I forgot to set an alarm and I actually woke up a little bit late today. So I do have some small errands to run, like the food shop. I do need to sort out my accounts today because I ended up doing a shit ton of coaching work yesterday instead, so I need to do my accounts today. Just having a bit of a sort my life out sort of day, which I feel like has been pretty much what I've done every single day this week. But yeah, today should be a much slower day, so I should be able to actually vlog a little bit more because I feel like the past couple of days that has not been the case. A research package, you can't see anything on there, so we're good. It's a very boring research package. Pretty much everything I have in here is black. To be honest, it's getting to the point now where I've spent so much money over the past few years on research stuff, and some of it was relevant at the time. So like if I knew Alpha Leap were bringing out a certain style, I would then go and buy other brands similar styles to be able to compare and help people with it. But then I don't like those products, so it's not like I'm holding on to them for personal use or for research. So I really need to go through my research collection and sell some stuff because it's to a point where that in itself is like its own separate activewear collection. So I will probably sell that stuff on Vinted. There will be quite a bit of Honor stuff in there. There will be some straight legs in there, soft motion pieces in there. There will likely be maybe some unified pieces in there. I guess it is so far forward. Interesting. I will see you guys in a moment. The selling of these is going. Dad's decided to chip in £10,000.
Yeah, that Amy House charity.
What?
Yeah.
Hope you're not wasting good line paper. We've only got.
I'm just
14
planting the
of them.
seed,
Yeah.
sorting through
20, Deborah.
the piles. I've posted a TikTok about it. It's private eye collection. Hopefully Have I Got News see it and they're like, oh, does he want to come watch? That's my hope.
What?
Nothing. Fees actually. I thought we'd go and buy a coffee.
That's 3 years.
He's already bought me a coffee.
Right, there's 26 there. That's the full
So I've got my coffee before we walk.
2021.
And I've also got a flower delivery.
2017.
Yeah, because that.
No, we are going to go for a walk. I was going to wear my flip-flops.
2017.
I'm not going to do that because we are going for a walk. I kind of hate how this outfit looks with socks,
Well, it
but
doesn't matter, we'll have to just use the expensive one.
look.
Oh dear.
That's it. Got it, got it!
Twins.
We are actually.
We are. Don't look at the camera.
Do I have to look down like you?
Yeah, you go like this. And then it makes a really nice clip for the intro. Might leave the sound on this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what was that? What would you do if a massive fucking whale just jumped out? What is that? There's something in the water over
Might be an
there.
anaconda.
Also, look at all this. It's so gross. Feel safe. My morning walk with Twinkle was very productive. 8,500 steps. I'm now going to Morrison's because, like I mentioned, I seem to have run out of food. I did buy some mince that I could have used today, but thought of mince is really not appealing to me. I kind of want to make ramen for my tea, and it goes off tomorrow, so I've just offered that to my mum and dad. So they're going to make mince and onions. That's what they're having for their tea. So I'm going to go to Morrison's, do another food shop, come back. I want to make some tzatziki today, and then I've just been pulling like research activewear out because I really needed to do a clear out. I've probably pulled out like 10-15 pieces on a Buff Bunny crop shop boutique, so I'm going to list those on Vinted for like 5 p.m. I've told everyone I'll list them at 5 because I do have a pair of straight legs in there and I know that they're going to sell like exceptionally fast. So let's go to Morrison's. Foods. My food shop is done. I'm actually going to run you through the cost of that when I get home because I didn't talk about the cost of food shops on Monday, which I did want to discuss, but I have, because I did get quite a lot of protein in that shop as well. Top 2 supermarkets for me, Marks and Spencer's or Morrison's. Morrison's is actually Bradford born and bred, and Morrison started it, did a whole history project about the history of Morrison's. Started off as like a little like market, like selling fruit and veg and stuff, and then turned into a supermarket. And I'm pretty sure I used to live on the same road as my granny and grandpa, but I did also treat myself to an energy drink. They had the Khalifa Farms, all the new milks. They've got like a oat only, like it's only oats and salt, so there's none of like the nasties. I'm saying that I'm about to go home and prep a Ninja Creamy with my nasty Oatly barista. Got that. They had an almond milk matcha pre-made one, but I tilted it and I could see the colour and it looked like sick, so I feel like that's going to taste like fish or pond water. Oatly have got a matcha latte in a bottle, but I don't trust it. I really wanted to get a pack of the Old Jamaica light ginger beers, but they only had the normal one, so I'm going to actually go home and order that on Amazon. But I don't know why I've got this. You've seen I've already had a coffee today, but I really like this flavour. If you're a Monster fan or an energy drink fan in general, what's your favourite energy drink and what's your favourite flavour? Because I'm waiting. I really want to try the new 3D flavours, especially the cucumber and mint one. It sounds really up my street, but Christian said that I'm going to love them. And I'm like, well, sir, you're not selling them in the UK, so, you know, I guess I'll find out. But hopefully I get to go to Texas soon and then I can try them. Show you my food shop and we'll talk about pricing of food shop. But first I gotta take my headphones off because I'm driving. Okay, so this is my food shop. The total is £43.33, but I'm taking off £4 of that because I got an energy drink which was £2, and I got 2 random fruit bar things that were just at the few bits that I wouldn't normally get, which were £2. So £4 off that. So it was about £39, and this is everything I got. Like I said, I went to Morrison's today. I'm a Morrison's or a Marks and Spencer's person. First thing I got, which I've never seen before, Jason's sourdough have now got a protein version. And I looked at the ingredients and it doesn't look like it's got anything crazy in it, because I feel like the whole point of Jason's sourdough is it's meant to be all the natural stuff, and it doesn't actually look like it's got any weird stuff in it, but this is 12 grams of protein per slice, which I think is about 4 or 5 grams more than the normal one, so I'll let you know what that's like. But I got that for breakfast. These are the fruit bars I picked up. I've never seen them before. I got a strawberry one and a mango one. Some pak choi for veggies that I want to make a ramen. This isn't really like a normal food shop because I did get random bits like ramen noodles because I want ramen for my tea. I got fruit, so I did the 3 for $5. There's usually a deal on fruit, so I would highly recommend that you do that. I got blueberries, cherries, seedless green grapes. These ones look really crunchy, so I'm very happy with those. I then got some, I was being lazy, I bought sliced mushrooms for my ramen. This way I don't have to slice them myself. I got some more feta cheese for more salads, Greek yogurt so that I can make my own tzatziki, lean steaks for my ramen, and these are also a lot cheaper than buying the bigger steaks, and you get, I wouldn't say you get more meat, but you just get more portions out of it because they're thinly cut. Smoked bacon medallions for breakfast, itsu ramen broth. I can make my own, and I do make my own, but this one's easier, so I got this just for ease today. Some chicken sausages for extra protein for breakfasts. I got a cucumber, again salad, but also for my tzatziki. Get some gum, should probably also take that off the price as well. And then the final thing is just another big pack of chicken, and this is a much bigger pack of chicken than the one I got from Marks and Spencer's the other day. So that's everything, and it was about, if I take the gum off, it was probably about £38, and this will probably last me until next week now, so I won't need to do a food shop again. Thursday today, this will probably last me till the end of Monday, but I'm gonna make my lunch and put this away and prep a Ninja Creamy. I want a Ninja Creamy for my Love Island snack. I'm making my own tzatziki to go with some chicken for my lunch. This is how we're looking so far. So I have grated the cucumber and then squeezed it because you have to get as much water out of it as possible. Put in a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of salt and pepper. And then I've got my seasoning that I got in the Greek supermarket. Little spoons that everything came with are so cute. That is so cute. The marketing person or packaging person's wet dream. Oh, it smells a bit weird. I'm just gonna sprinkle. Oh, I mean, it looks good. This Greek yogurt is a bit too, like, yogurty. Oh, that's actually perfect. First attempt ever at making tzatziki, and we've smashed it. Oh, that's delicious. I feel like it's even nicer when it's made fresh. Okay, I'm a convert. The seasoning I used is from the Greek supermarket, so that's probably not that helpful, but wow, pretty good if you ask me. My homemade tzatziki, and then I've just this is how I always do my chicken. I cut it all up and then pre-season it, and then I will seal it properly in the fridge. This is good until the 1st of August. I will have eaten it all by then, but it basically just means I don't have to cut up chicken every day. I don't have to touch raw chicken every day. I only have to do it once. It actually gets better day by day because the seasoning has been on it for longer, and it just reduces my meal prep time down without having to reheat chicken, because I really don't like reheated chicken. One of you guys actually gave me this tip, and it's been life-changing. So, and I'm just going full Greek mode. This is the seasoning that I've used on the chicken. I'm going to cook some of the chicken now, make a Greek salad for lunch, and then I need to do these vinted listings. So a Greek salad-ish, my own take on it, because obviously I've added chicken for protein, is made. Guys, I cannot stop eating this tzatziki I've just made. I prefer it to any tzatziki, not that I've ever had. I would say it's definitely on par with the stuff I was eating in Greece last week, but way better than like Marks and Spencer's, Morrison's. I'm just gonna use some of it, but I keep eating it. It's outrageously good. I'm so excited. I love making new stuff or trying new stuff, especially when I come back from somewhere. Like when I came back from Italy last year, I was making like all these kind of, well, weird to some people, salads with like parma ham, all the sort of like cured meats, then with mozzarella and peach and like balsamic glazes and stuff. And this time we're doing it in Greek edition, but I just think it's so nice to go away and find foods that you either already knew you loved, but then you want to make them fresh when you come home. And I love making something, and especially when it goes right first time, like, this is exciting. Now anytime I want tzatziki, I can literally just whip it up. I feel like Greek yogurt is something you can just readily keep in the fridge, whether you're having it with fruit or turn it into tzatziki. So yeah, super happy with it. I've popped a little bit on top of my salad. I'm gonna eat this and I'll catch you guys in a bit. Maybe when I'm making ramen. Is it bad to show you 2 meals in a day? Maybe today can just be a foodie day. I'll show you when I make my ramen. I'll show you how I do it. It's really easy, really easy. I'm showered and I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to put in my ramen because I'm now hungry. It's only been like 2 hours since I last ate, but I'm feeling hungry. By the way, I've got pyjamas on. Hollister. feels so cute when I wear all pink. Anyway, my SD card ran out, so I just had to delete some stuff. But I'm not doing the one where I make it completely from scratch. I've also realised I have no spring onions. I don't know how I was doing ramen but forgot to get spring onions, but I did. So I'm actually using red onion instead because that's all I've got. So I've just diced it really finely. I've then got some pak choy, I've got some broccoli. I've got mushrooms, which I'm going to use as well. I'm going to fry the onion with garlic and ginger and a little bit of brown sugar. I will then add in my itsu ramen broth. Sometimes I do also put a little bit of like, sometimes I will also add in a little bit of beef oxo, just in case I want it a little bit stronger, but I'm not sure I am going to do that today because I'm only making ramen for one. I tend to do that if I'm having to add extra water to this. I'm only going to use half of it. I tend to do that because otherwise the flavour can be a little bit weak. I'll obviously use half of the noodles and then I will pop the steaks on top. I will sort of talk you through it as I do it. I'm not going to do it aesthetically because I've noticed when I use my tripod it's quite lightweight, and in my kitchen when I'm walking around it causes the tripod to shake. I noticed it when I showed you guys a stir fry a couple of weeks ago in a vlog, and it really annoyed me when I was editing it, and I was just thinking if I was watching this vlog I'd be skipping on past this stuff. So I'll like talk you through it as I go and show you it, but it might not be that aesthetic, but it doesn't need to be. Doesn't need to be. By the way, this is not mine, that's my dad's minced onion. I can't get too close because the camera steams up, but this is what I do first. So that's the onion, garlic and ginger. Usually it would be spring onion, but I messed up and I've only got red onion. I'm kind of regretting that because I don't think the flavour is going to be the same at all. Not all onions are equal. And then using this is going in. I think that's about half in. And that's how that looks now. So now I'm just going to let that sort of boil up a bit. I probably will actually add a bit of water because otherwise it's not going to be enough liquid. Probably going to add a bit of water, maybe a little bit of stock. As I've put the noodles in, I needed to add quite a bit more water. So I've used, and I will use the other half tomorrow, half of a beef oxo cube, just so that it's not, because the more water you add, the more watered down the flavour is. So my noodles are in there now. I've just put my pak choy and my broccoli in. Mushrooms go in last, but I'm going to actually fry the steaks now. So they're super tiny little steaks. I will probably do 2 of those and yeah, just flash fry them either side for 1 minute because they're super small. Left so quick. Alphalete sent out the drop for, I can't show anything until the 3rd, but it's going to be on the 12th, which is weird because that's a Tuesday. But they sent out the drop brief whilst I was making ramen. So now my ramen has gone a little soupy. She's not perfect, admittedly, but she's still going to taste real flipping good. So we're going to bowl her up in my cute little ramen bowl. I got these from my brother and they're unreal. Like I said, the noodles are a little overdone, so they've gotten a little soupy. Why I'm doing an American accent, that's really annoying. Started doing accents, I think I've been watching too much Sophia and Chintzia, and I love Sophia and Chintzia, God love them, but I think the accents are rubbing off on me. Okay, I was going to try and make it look aesthetic and leave all the veggies on top, but that's not going to work, so in she goes. This is what I mean, it's a little more soupy than I would have liked, but it's because I've left the noodles in for too long. It still looks cute actually, I'm not mad at it. And then we just have 2 little steakarinis to go on. Push them down a little to get them in the broth. And that is, oh, she's gonna spill out the side. That's my ramen. This is her in all her glory. I'm gonna eat this now and do my alphalete selects, I guess. That came out of nowhere. Yikes. It's good, but it looks good. And it's a full bowl. I don't know if I'm even gonna be able to finish this, to be honest, but we're gonna try. Guys, we're back on the Ninja Creamy train. I was gonna film me making it, but I started making this at 8 minutes to 9 and I needed to rush for Love Island, and I needed my light ice cream, which is 4 minutes, and my respin, which is 2. So it's just 250 mils of oat milk and then the ESN protein coffee. There is no banana in this one today, so probably won't be as good, but it comes out basically like a soft serve. Like, can you see the texture of it? Love Island on the TV screen. I'll debrief you when it's done. I'm not looking forward to this episode at all. At all. I picked the vlog back up last night because I was just... I honestly, that's the first episode of the entire season where, because obviously we knew what clips were going to be shown at the Grafties, we knew we were going to be seeing, and that was the first episode where I've been like, I'm actually not sure I want to watch tonight's episode. And it was painful. The first half an hour was honestly really sad. Like, that was a really sad episode of Love Island. Helena was upset, Helena was crying, Shakira was crying, Connor was crying, and I think it was yesterday, so before before the grafties, I think it was during the day, apparently Shakira spent like 8 hours with the care team basically saying that she wanted to leave, and then they somehow managed to convince her to stay, which I just think is so wrong, because they've convinced her to stay then to make her experience 10 times worse by doing her and Tony, to be fair, very unfairly. And I feel like if you say anything nice about Shakira online, people are like, she's nasty, she's this, she's that. First of all, we don't actually know, and even for like the people that I watch and I think, I'm not sure I'm a massive fan of this character, they are characters, obviously we don't actually know them. My point with it is the clips that they've chosen are unfair, because why was Tony and Shakira's them venting after an argument where, yes, Meg had shown to be pretending to be really nice to people but actually chatting shit about them, and that's what they were annoyed about, and they were venting, as I'm sure Meg and Helena will have done, but obviously we didn't see that. There are plenty clips of Meg and Helena being quite nasty about the other girls that they should have shown for Meg and Helena's clip. If they want to do that to Tony and Shakira, yeah, they said those things, fine, show it. Why? What even was that clip for Meg and Helena? It wasn't even really their clip, it was more to do with Angel and Harry, to be honest. I didn't really get it. And the fact that Meg was not annoyed at Helena at all for being super two-faced, like, that's a bad friend in my opinion, with the things that she was saying about Meg to Dijon, and sort of like laughing about her and saying like it's Meg's reactions to things that are the problem. I'd be kind of fuming if my friend was talking like that about me, especially considering this was during the time where she was then going to Meg and being like, oh yeah, like I don't think he's actually that into you. Like she was really like playing field with the two of them. But there's so many clips, like I'm really shocked that they've not used all the times where they have spoken about Shakira, like when Meg said, oh I hope that Harry comes back to you, Helena, so that Shakira looks like a right dickhead, and all this other stuff that she has said about her or any of the other girls throughout. But I did find it interesting how Megan, she might have said something and it might have been edited out. It didn't seem like Megan that's come back in, said anything. Apparently she was, according to the episode we saw last night, she was silent throughout the whole thing, which I think is very interesting, because if this was at the start, before she'd come out and seen everyone's opinions, she'd have been really mouthing off. But she appeared to stay somewhat silent, and it's only going to get worse tonight, because tonight is the clip where they show them two talking about Dijon and Meg becoming boyfriend and girlfriend, and they're actually really talking about Dijon and how they didn't say it, but in my opinion they're discussing what everyone thinks, which is he's a game player and it's fake and it's not real and they don't think it's genuine. I don't think that's going to go down well either, and I don't think Meg or Helena have any other clips. All Helena's clips are just to do with flirting. It's not to do with all the bitchy things that she's said and done, or like when they were all sort of like laughing and sniggering about the Harrison situation, or when they were laughing and sniggering about Hideaway Helena and Shakira when Shakira was really upset, making out like they hadn't been plotting getting back together when they absolutely had. So many things that they could have shown and they've just not. But why? I'm confused. I don't understand it, because also the producers know quite a lot of people do like Tony and Shakira, and if anything I feel like it's just making people who were going to vote for them want to vote for them even more. The only scenario in which I can see it sort of going awry is if the reactions tonight to the rest of the grafties is really bad. But honestly I feel so bad for Shakira, and I think it's so wrong that they've convinced her to stay only to do this to her. And like, I get it, she has said those things, but it's the fact that then after they've shown Meg and Helena's clip, Dijon's like, see, if they'd have said something, they'd have shown it. And everyone's like at home like, well no, because we've seen weeks of them saying stuff and they've chosen not to show it. So I feel like it's even more going to be making Shakira feel like shit, because they're just, everyone, it's not really about the outside opinion at the moment, because she's not enjoying her experience in the villa. Everyone in that villa is now gonna think Meg and Helena must not have said anything about them, unless they're obviously the people who know. I think the only person who knows obviously is Megan. Blue knows as well, but he just seems to talk rubbish, because he was like, there is no divide, I've not seen any divide. Like, have you been watching the show, or have you just been on TikTok lives for the past 4 weeks? So I'm just actually getting ready for the gym. I've been doing a little bit of coaching work this morning. I had some client messages, some emails, just doing a little bit of admin-y stuff, really, nothing crazy. So I'm actually training a little bit later. It's about 11 now, and I'm gonna go to the gym, but I'm actually gonna go to a different gym. When you are trying to get back on track, I think I spoke about this earlier at the start of the week, but it's all about removing as many barriers as possible. And so for me this week, I have still been like a little out of routine. One of the barriers for me today is I really need to charge my car, and also I can't be bothered because I am going later. If I go anytime sort of after lunchtime, which it would probably need to be now, I'm gonna get stuck in all the bad traffic, whether it's on the way there lunchtime traffic or on the way back school time traffic, which I always want to avoid. And so for me, that's the thing in my head where I'm I'm like, that's massively putting me off. So in order to remove that barrier, I'm actually going to a different gym, which is a lot closer. It's only like 10 minutes from my house. I'm gonna go with Twinkle Toes. It's his like usual gym. Remove that barrier, because yeah, if you are trying to get back on track and you are making things 10 times harder for yourself, like I spoke about at the start of this vlog, you've not got a food shop in, you've not done this, you don't have any of your gym stuff washed, you don't know where any of your gym stuff is, you've not packed your gym bag, you've just got all these sort of barriers, or maybe like your gym isn't in a very convenient spot. This goes in general, like if you are someone that is finding it really hard to stick to the gym and you've signed up to a gym that is not easy to get to and it's not that accessible, you are making it 10 times harder for yourself. You are making it so much harder than it needs to be for yourself. Things like going to a gym that's a little bit more convenient for you will not only be helpful with getting back on track, but just getting into the gym in the first place. You need to remove as many of these sort of barriers as possible, and you won't be able to move every single one of them. For example, a barrier some days is going to be you can't be asked. You can't remove that barrier, but it's a lot easier to be asked when you know that you don't have to travel an hour in traffic to get to the gym. You're going to be able to go downstairs and easily cook a healthy, high protein meal that's in line with your goals, rather than knowing that you're going to have to go to the supermarket again because you've still not bothered to go and get a food shopping. But I think I spoke about this a little at the start of this vlog, but I just really want to like remind people again. I can give you some tips and tricks for getting back on track. I can give you some tips and tricks for getting into the gym. There are tips and tricks that I can use. It seems like people are expecting me to give them this like big fat juicy secret that is a secret to getting back on track and to being consistent, like how to be consistent, how to do this, how to do that. And yeah, there's tips which obviously I've spoken about and I've spoken about them before. Doing something you enjoy helps. There are little things that you can do that help. The best way to be consistent is to be consistent. The best way to get back on track is to get back on track. I think a lot of us procrastinate by looking on TikTok, YouTube, podcasts, Instagram quotes for the best tips for getting back on track and for being in consistent routines, when really the time that you are using looking for these tips would be better used going and doing a food shop, going and getting to the gym, going and getting your steps in, going and getting your cardio done. Because I can give you all the gold and sparkly little, oh, this is a fun little tip, this is a fun little tip. I can give you all the tips in the world. It's like the saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot force it to drink. No one is coming to force you to get back on track. No one is going to be able to get you to be consistent other than you. And I know it sounds like such a stupid thing to say, or such like a well, obviously, Amy, duh. The more that you just continue to look for tips upon tips upon tips upon tips, I would seriously ask yourself, do you genuinely still need advice and don't know what you're doing? Or are you procrastinating? Because the best way to get back on track is to get a bit of momentum behind you. Like, I know that some people come back off a trip and they feel really excited. I wasn't really like super hyped to get back in the gym, but as soon as I've got one gym session in, as soon as I've gone and done one food shop, then yesterday doing another shop feels a lot easier. Going to the gym the second day feels a lot easier. The more that you do things, the more that you build momentum, the easier it feels. So the best thing for getting back on track is getting back on track. The best thing for building consistency is being consistent, because the more consistent you are, the more odd and out of routine it's going to feel when you're not being consistent. And you'll notice that, and maybe you don't like how it feels, or maybe you notice that it feels a little bit disjointed, or you feel like you're lacking routine and you don't enjoy that as much. And that is not to say that there are no little tips and tricks, like I have mentioned a couple in this video. Removing barriers to entry for things like the gym, choosing a gym that's convenient for you, choosing your gym outfit the night before, doing all these sorts of things. For example, on Wednesday I was feeling a little bit like low motivation to go to the gym, so I was like, I'm not going to film, because that's another barrier, because if I film it's going to take me 2.5 hours instead of maybe 1.5 hours to do my session, which is just putting me off wanting to go to the gym. Removing those barriers, those things are genuinely helpful, but nothing is going to outwin just fucking doing it. But I just think sometimes we pussyfoot around the advice that we actually need to hear, and I'm saying it with peace, love and kindness. If you are looking to get back on track, do the things that are going to get you back on track. Go to the gym, go do your food shop, eat your meal prep, stick to your calories, get your step goal in. Yes, like I said, there's little tips and tricks that you can follow. You can Google all the tips and tricks in the world. If you're not going to implement them, it's pointless. You have to do, okay? So I'm going to pick out a gym outfit and go to the gym. I was going to put a little bit of makeup on today, but honestly, I'm kind of enjoying my break from my perioral dermatitis. Obviously, I'm still on my antibiotics and my skin's really good, so make the most of it whilst I still have it, because I've no doubt it's probably going to come back again and I'll need to go to a dermatologist, which obviously I spoke about yesterday. And because I've got like a little bit of a tan at the moment, I don't feel like I look like ghostly, whereas usually, obviously I fake tan usually, so because my tan is usually fake, I feel like even though my face is still lighter than the rest of my body, like if I show you guys my stomach is definitely like the darkest part of me right now, and my face is obviously the lightest part of me, but it's still got a bit of colour. So let's get dressed and go to the gym. I don't know if I'm going to be able to film because I've never filmed in that gym before. It's not giving, but I'm ready for the gym. I've got on my sandy bright. I actually bought this in the black. The black doesn't feel as tight as some of the other colours, which is really spinning me because black is usually the tightest colour. I really do like the sandy bright. I just think we need to fix the sizing and the quality issues. And then I've just put on my, don't mind this by the way, just put on my white pump shorts and then my Garage straight leg joggers. I never really train in just a sports bra anymore, but it's quite like muggy and I feel like that gym is going to be quite muggy today, so this is the fit. I'm beginning to regret my decision to not put any slapperoonie on, but Twinkle Toes has picked me up. I'm going to his gym today, which I think I've already... Oh, I should probably move my car. This is what I got yesterday, but I had the mango one yesterday, so I'm going to try the strawberry one because it'll make for a good pre-workout because it's just sugar, really. It kind of gives, you know, those fruit bars that you used to get at school. This is what it looks like. Well, I didn't expect it to look like this, but the mango one yesterday was actually so fucking nice.
It looks a little bit like beef jerky.
Yeah, but it's not. It's like dried strawberry, but it's 100% real fruit.
Looks like it.
It tastes exactly like those strawberry sticks that my mum and dad used to put in my... Did you ever get them? Little nibble. The strawberry sticks that your mum and dad put in your lunchbox. Guys, do you know what I'm talking about? The dried strawberry sticks.
I know what you're talking about, but my mum didn't.
I'm not talking about the Yogi Bear things.
My mum and dad didn't like me enough.
This beverage of the day. Was it yesterday we went for a walk? It was, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, because I nearly died.
So we went for a walk yesterday and his beverage he bought me yesterday was, you're going to have to bring me a beverage every time you see me now. You've done it twice in this vlog. You're setting a precedent.
Same as the flowers, but the flowers once a week is the precedent.
On the first few sips I did like it, but now...
It felt a bit sweet to me.
It tastes a bit like soap.
What? I just thought it tasted a bit like raspberry.
Yeah, it's the Juneberry one. But if anything, it just tastes like blue raspberry.
I got an extra large, non-sugar free,
This is his drink.
proper monster that's that big that you can't open it normally. You got to do a twist top on it.
I trained in a very different gym this day. I feel like you're probably going to be able to tell from the vibes. This is more of like a raw, like bodybuilding, heavy lifting gym. And to be fair, I did actually really like it. It was just too hot and they didn't have aircon on. I felt like I was training in Texas without the aircon, so it was really, really hot. I just wanted to give some tips more so on when you go into a gym that you are not used to, or if you are thinking about changing gyms after what I've said about maybe going to a gym that's more convenient for you with gym anxiety and stuff. So my first tip is go with someone if you can. I would always recommend going with someone if you can, to start with, to ease yourself in, to get comfortable. If you can't go with someone, and I know this can be hard if you are a socially anxious person, but if you can't go to the gym with someone, when you first go into that gym, say to the person working there, I'm new, would you mind showing me where everything is, and just like showing me around. And then as they're showing you around, showing you the equipment, if there's anything, like for example they've got a hip thrust machine, you've never used one before, ask them to show you how to use it, because that is what I have done with every single new gym I have ever joined. When I've switched gyms over the years, I did it when I went to JD from Pure, I did it when I went to Pure from Flax, and I did it when I moved to Graft House, my current gym, as well. So I would highly, highly recommend. Obviously I had Twinkle Toes with me this day, so I was just asking him about things and where things were. But if you do that, it sort of mitigates the fear of looking stupid or feeling like you don't know what you're doing, which mainly comes from not knowing how to use the equipment and not knowing where things are. So those are like my biggest two tips. Either go with someone or ask someone that works there straight away, hi, please can you show me around? Or if you get confused with any of the equipment, just ask someone, because especially if you're going to a gym like this, people might look a little bit scary, which I don't like saying about people. Oh my God, my socks are filthy. Fuck me, that is gross. I don't like saying that about people because it's not a nice thing to say, but I get it. Big bodybuilders, they do look scary. They will be some of the nicest people, the people that are like grunting between sets and they seem all scary. They will be some of the nicest people you will ever encounter in a gym. Just ask, like my dad always says, shy bairns getting out, which basically means you don't ask, you don't get. So yeah, I did glutes and hamstrings this day. I don't know why my brain didn't work there. So obviously I've done hip thrusts, I did RDLs, then I did some hamstring curls, and I finished off with some glute medius kickbacks. But yeah, this removed a massive barrier to me getting back on track this week, as it allowed me to get in my third leg day of the week, which honestly I wouldn't have done because obviously I got up late and then I actually had quite a bit of coaching work to do. I think a first week back from holiday is always a bit tricky because you're here, there and everywhere. You've got washing to do, you've got things to sort out, you need to unpack, you need to get back in routine, especially if you're self-employed and you do everything yourself. You've got to get back into the swing of work, and that can be a whole kettle of fish in itself. Also, if you work for someone else, it's probably the exact same experience, but obviously I'm self-employed, so that's all I can come at it from, and it's only me doing it. So when I come back, it's literally me to get back to everything. So removing that barrier of having to go a little bit further this day meant I was able to get in my third and final leg day of the week, and we ticked off the training sessions fully on track. Pop off. Pretty happy with that.
Now much later in the day, but I've just made ramen for me and for Twinkle Toes. Twinkle Toes doesn't like mushrooms, so he has no mushrooms. I have mushrooms, but it's the exact same as what I made yesterday, so I just cook the steak for less time because then it goes nice and it sort of like cooks in the broth. So good. It's Love Island time, guys. I've got Twinkle Toes on it.
I'm outraged.
Finishing off my protein. Forward to this episode, although it looks like they've added extra clips, so hopefully they actually have decided to be fair with them, but knowing Love Island, probably not.
But now we've just seen on TikTok that there is big Meg lovers and Helena lovers.
No, obviously there is. There is every season. There'll be people who like certain people and don't like others. Anyway, we're gonna watch. Guys, this is definitely gonna be well, it is absolutely gonna be my last day filming for this vlog because the vlog needs to go up tomorrow. But Saturday, do you know what? Even though I have enjoyed getting back in the swing of things this week and going to the gym and stuff, it felt so nice to wake up this morning. And at first I thought it was a Friday, and I was like, oh, I've got another gym session. And then I realised it's Saturday. And then I sprung up out of bed, and I was like, wow. Anyway, I wanted to start filming because I'm about to make my morning coffee. But obviously this has been like a massive sponsor of Love Island UK this year. I'm not sure about US. I wanted the plain one, but they didn't have any of the plain one, so I've got the vanilla one instead. So I'm gonna pop some in a cup with some ice and make like an iced latte for my morning coffee. Suitable glass. Suitable. I don't love the look of any of these. I guess I'll just do a tall, skinny number. I never feel like there's enough coffee when I do a small, skinny number, but I'll use this one. I feel like I need to debrief you on Love Island, but I feel like I need to process my thoughts a little more before we do that. Last night's episode was so depressing. Just not, I feel like, to be honest, in general, Love Island this series not been nice to watch. I feel like there was a point where it was like drama, but like good drama. I feel like the past couple of weeks has just gone way beyond that, and it's just like, really? Everyone seems so flat and over it. Something tells me the producers are going to have to get involved and like probably send the girls out on a peacemaking trip. Probably send the guys out on a peacemaking trip, because what the fuck was John doing? Completely left Harry out in the dirt. And I know that people saying he didn't know the extent of what he was saying. He did. He didn't know everything. So maybe, yeah, he didn't know the full extent, but he would literally sit and laugh with him about what he was doing. He would egg him on. He went and told him, like, oh yeah, I'm not interested in Emma at all. And then when he said, oh no, I actually, like, maybe that door's ajar, John was like laughing, like jumping up off the beanbag. I do understand where this has come from, because I personally believe he just wants to win. And like completely cutting Harry off. All the girls watching will be like, see, he's a really good guy. When really everyone's gone, why are you doing that? Like, that's a bit weird. Like, that's meant to be your friend. You've left him on his own and you're acting like you didn't know any of this. And a lot of it, you knew. Put the coffee in first. I don't know how much of this I'm meant to use. It says I've got 16 servings in a thing, and I've used about that much. I feel like an American with this. It's giving like cold brew vibes. Not usually a massive fan of like sweetener in my coffee. I feel like it makes coffee taste like a candle. Ooh. Well, that's quite good, doesn't it? Well, it's quite thick actually. You know what, fair enough, that's actually really nice. It's quite a strong coffee flavour as well. I would prefer it if it was plain. I'm gonna see if I can find, you're meant to put 30ml in. I've definitely put more than 30ml in mine, so I've definitely made it quite a lot stronger. That's the instructions for how you're meant to make it. Good, I've definitely made it stronger, but it's not bad, and it's not too sweet. It was like £3.75, but you'll get like 16 drinks out of it, so probably worth it. Oh, that's the air fryer. Further update on my coffee. I'm still drinking it. It's really, really, really sweet. You know how I said it's not too sweet? It is actually quite sweet. Oh, it's also getting a little warm. So yeah, the coffee is actually a little on the sweet side. Somehow, and I feel like the worst feminist in the world right now, somehow last night's episode has made me feel bad for Harry. Because when he was walking around on his own at the end, I just thought, God's sake. And then I did find it a bit weird how Tony was like, by the way, like, Harry, I don't hate you. I did find it a bit weird coming from Tony, but then I was like, to be fair, if she's the only person that will speak to him, which it looks like she was the only person that will speak to him, fair enough, because obviously you don't want someone, we've seen a lot of bad things come from Love Island, and even the people that I don't enjoy watching, I don't want to see them really, really, really suffer, if that makes sense. Like, it's just not, no matter how much you don't like someone, it's just not nice. My 2 pence on the situation is Dijon is switching up because he's realising Harry's not popular. Meghan has definitely warned Dijon, Meg, Helena about the outside opinions, because when Meghan was trying to get her to repeat what Shakira and Tony had said in the clip, and she was like, oh, I can't remember. But then Meghan's saying like it's disgusting, and I'm like, if it was really disgusting, you'd remember what they'd said. But Meghan was like not giving her anything. She, even when she was like, you know, I'm always there to comfort people and blah blah, she was like, you know, everyone says stuff in the heat at the moment. Like, Meghan has completely switched up after seeing the outside opinion. And to be fair, like, if she hadn't done, she's sort of like damned if she did, damned if she didn't, because people also wouldn't like it if she was being how she was being before. But I think my thing is, I'm just like, is this actually genuine? Because I'm not sure it is. Because even with the movie night a couple of weeks ago, Meg was a lot more mouthy, Dijon was a lot more mouthy, whereas this time they just sort of sucked that and took it. But it was almost giving gaslighting. Like, you know when someone creates an issue with you, or it's so obvious they have an issue with you, or they're so passive aggressive with you, or they'll create all these problems, they do all this bitching about you, create this massive problem, and then they want to sit back and go and do this sort of like taking the moral high ground and being like, damn, like, and they find out that you said something, oh, I thought we were friends, like taking the moral high ground, calm about the situation, and you feel like you're being gaslit because it's like, you've instigated this. It's like throwing rocks and hiding your hands sort of thing. And I find that a pattern, to be honest, with people in general, I'm not just talking about Love Island here, who cause issues, and it's always people who say that they don't like confrontation. They'll bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch. They just get to this point where they have this sort of epiphany and they're like, oh, peace and love, and it doesn't matter. And it's like, well, it's easy for you to say that. You might have like messed up someone's friendships with other people, you might have made someone's life a misery, you might have made work really difficult for someone, and then you want to sit back and be like, oh well. I have a lot of pet peeves in life, but that's definitely one of them. And by the way, this is by no means me saying I'm a lover of people who go around being like, I just say ours, and they're really actually rude and being nasty to people. I'm not a fan of those sorts of people either. I'm a fan of the middle ground, the normal people, where if there's an issue, they will raise it in a nice way. It doesn't need to be done in a super confrontational. Confrontational, I feel like, makes it sound like you're very argumentative and you're coming at it from a very aggressive angle. Lays your cards on the table sort of thing, because in a lot of cases, all the people that I've met who have said that they're not confrontational or they hate confrontation are actually the worst for bitching and causing issues. What they mean is they don't like consequences. They don't like consequences and they don't like to be pulled up on it, but they're happy to sit there and talk shit about people 24/7. Today is Saturday, and part of my getting back on track routine is I've not actually got ready once this week. So I do have a check to pay in on my premium bonds. I never win money on my premium bonds, but whilst I was away, I've actually won 50 smackaroonies. So I'm gonna go and pay that in to my bank, and I'm gonna go into Leeds to do it, just so I can have a bit of a meander and a little bit of a wander whilst I am there. So I'm gonna go and do that. But I feel like part of me getting back on track this week is getting back into my full routine routine, and I feel like just getting myself ready for the day to day. A little cherry on top that I need. Then tonight I think me and Twinkle Toes are going to either go and watch Superman, the new Jurassic Park. I'm having to use my phone because I don't know where I've put my powder bronzer that has the mirror in it. I've also just seen that Boots are launching a brand new store in London which is fragrance only, and they're launching like 20 new niche brands. It's going to be designer, niche, like high-end fragrance. I'm pretty sure it's going to be off Bond Street, so that's exciting. I feel like it's quite random. I'm also not sure that Boots, I wonder if they're going to do different branding for it, because I personally don't feel like Boots' branding screams like luxury. Yes, I'm also loving having a little bit of extra jewellery on at the moment. I got some new bits whilst I was away. I don't have any rings on right now, but I picked up this little evil eye. I love anything evil eye. You're going to see that when I show you the 3 new pieces that I've got. I've got an evil eye ring as well, but I don't have it to hand right now. I got this from a shop called Blue in London. It's not gold or anything like that. It was literally like €30, but it is gold plated, and to be honest, there's no actual signs of tarnish just yet. I then have this bangle, which I've been getting asked about on Instagram. People have been like, is that a Cartier bangle? No, it's just a €40 bangle that's got evil eyes around it, and I think it's really nice. But it has made me want to go and get like a proper solid gold version of it made, and there's loads that you can go to in Bradford and Leeds. But if anyone has any recommendations, like if you've had something like this made at a jeweller's, let me know, because even though it is 4 times gold plated and it's not tarnished yet, I have no doubt it will begin to tarnish at some point. I am not taking it off, like I've not taken it off since I put it on, so definitely being exposed to the elements somewhat. And then my other new piece is just my permanent bracelet. So this is just a little gold chain, and then it's got an evil eye with a dark blue on one side and a light blue on the other side, and that's permanent, so I can't take that off. So God knows what I'm going to do when my tan starts fading and I need to fake tan again. Don't know what I'm going to do about that, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I also need to sort out some Vinted orders, because I've sold like £200 worth of stuff now, so I have a lot of Vinted orders that I need to pack up. Again, this is your reminder, go and sell some stuff, guys. This is a major first world problem. Owning too much stuff, wow, what a problem, Amy. No one gives a fuck. The point I'm getting at more with this, and you guys know if you've been watching my vlogs for a while, is do not think that owning loads and loads and loads of stuff is going to bring you like happiness, because I genuinely believe, and I've said this before, there is an amount of stuff that you can own that's like peak happiness, and then I feel like anything above that amount actually has a negative impact, because you've just got so much stuff and no room for it. And yeah, obviously I love buying activewear for research purposes, staying in the loop with things, because yeah, I work exclusively with Alphalete, but ultimately you guys only buy one brand, or if you come across my Alphalete videos and you're used to buying from another brand and you don't know what the sizing's like in comparison, I need to be able to know that sort of stuff. But it was just to a point where like there was stuff I'd bought like 2 years ago for research that I've not touched in like 18 months that I really don't need anymore. So it was good to have a good clear through of that sort of stuff. I find it really interesting which brands sell quick on Vinted in the UK. All my Honor pieces have sold pretty quickly. I have a couple left on there, but they sold pretty quickly. But like my Buff Bunny stuff, I thought it would sell super fast, but I think I've only sold one Buff Bunny thing. I find it really interesting the difference, because I feel like if that was US, I feel like the Buff Bunny stuff would sell so much quicker, but it's really just not a thing over here, and I feel like they don't have affiliates or athletes either, so they don't even have anyone to sort of help them push it over here or get it out. And I've never seen anyone in real life in the UK wearing Buff Bunny. It's just not a thing over here, so I'm not like shocked that it's taking longer to sell, but I do find it interesting the difference between the US and the UK in that regard. But with this being a getting back on track like fitnessy themed vlog, I should probably give you guys some good old fitness updates. I am actually going to be getting coached again. I don't know if I should do like a full-blown like fitnessy updates bit in my next vlog, because I feel like I've filmed a lot in this vlog, so I'm conscious of not yapping too much. So if you want like a full-blown update, let me know. But the long and short of it is, first of all, I need more accountability. Second of all, I'm heading into a very busy period. The next few months is going to be really busy for me, both in my personal life and in my work life. When I'm having a week where everything is sort of building up on top of me, the first thing to go is usually my fitness, and that's fine to an extent, but when I'm having a lot of weeks like that, I need the extra accountability, and you should always be able to be accountable to yourself. But I just find that when I'm going through a busier period, it really helps me to have a coach, and I was very hesitant to get one again, because I don't want to say I've had horror stories, because I feel like that's quite dramatic. Like I've definitely not experienced, you know, anything near as bad as what some of my clients come to me saying. I have experienced, for example, the whole like cookie cooker programs. Like if I'm coming to you as my coach and I'm saying I'm not bothered about upper body gains, I actually have a really dominant upper body. If I train upper body as consistently as I do lower, I will end up looking like an upside down Dorito, which is just not, by the way, I'm not saying that in like a derogatory way, it's just like a description. I want for myself, love that look on other people, but it's not for me and I don't like it. So then why will a coach come back to me and put me on a push-pull leg split? Like it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So it did kind of put me off a little bit, but I wanted to find a coach that basically had, first of all, a lot of experience, not just bodybuilding prep, but they also do lifestyle clients, but not just lifestyle clients. I did want someone who had experience or does experience working with prep clients, because I feel like there is a big difference with someone's goals, which mine are, of wanting to lean out a little bit and just tighten things up a little bit. There is a big difference between getting someone who has a lot of body fat available to lose body fat and someone who doesn't have as much. And now that is not me saying that this is not me saying by any means that I want to get unhealthy, because I absolutely don't, or that I want to look like I'm on prep, because that's not healthy for me. Something that I have massively struggled with, to be honest, and I've not really spoken about it properly. This is one of the reasons I'm getting a coach, because something I've really struggled with is, if you've been watching me for a long time, you will know what my background for training is, and that is I was super tiny little mini girl, had a really hard time gaining weight, couldn't gain weight, struggled to keep it on me. You know, at uni, if you're watching my what I eat in a day, you'll know I was eating like 3,200 calories just to gain weight. I used to have to eat a lot to gain weight, and there is no scientific evidence for this. I've looked at it for clients before. It doesn't seem there's any science to back us up on this, but I know a lot of women have experienced the same thing. I definitely hit an age, and I don't know what age it was, but I now find gaining weight is a lot easier, which isn't a problem. You know, that's something I always wanted, but I find when I want to lose body fat, it is a lot harder for me now, whereas before, leaning out for me was so much easier. Now I find it a lot harder, and I don't think my body responds as well as it used to. I also just want to have like another pair of eyes and honestly get a second opinion on it, because sometimes it confuses me. And I have made progress since I wanted to start doing like a body recomposition at the start of the year, but now the long and short of it is I'm going to be quite busy. I need that extra, this is really divided, I want that extra accountability. Quite a lot of like stigma around actually trying to achieve a certain goal, which I've spoken about quite a lot. I feel like if you actively want to do something, people only think leaning out is okay if you do it intuitively. I just took all the pressure off my life and I magically leaned out, or I started doing Pilates 4 times a week and I just magically leaned out. I feel like that's the only scenario in which people are nice about people are leaning out. I personally feel like it makes people who need to try feel bad or feel like there's something wrong with them, and I have been someone who wouldn't have needed to try to have lost weight before. Now I need to, like, things have really changed, and I find it really patronizing how some people talk about fat loss and weight loss, and I do not need to lose weight for health purposes or anything like that. This is purely an aesthetic goal. I'm not going to beat around the bush with that, but I also do want to reassure you and pre-warn you that this is not going to become one of those things where you're watching one of the people that you've watched for years slowly become emaciated, they get really bone thin, look completely different, and you are worried about them having an eating disorder. We're not going down that road. It's just a case of leaning out a little bit. You guys might not even notice a difference, but I'm sure that I will. I also feel like personally I've not had a coach in years, and I like having a coach to learn from them. It's a big learning opportunity for me, both as someone who's into the gym but also as a coach. So that's another reason why I am getting a coach, but I thought I would just update you guys on that. But if you want like an in-depth fitness updates, I guess let me know and I will let you guys know the more specifics of my goals. And I also wanted to touch on that because for a long time I was beating myself up thinking it must just be me, like there's no science to back this up, and I am well aware I like to be very science led with things, and there is really not any science to back this up, but there is no way that so many of us experience the same thing. And even like activity levels wise, I wasn't that much more active when I was at uni. I think it is just something that happens with age, and I don't know the mechanics behind it, but I'm starting with her mid-August and I'm really excited. Honestly, I'm excited to have a bit of extra accountability again, and just I think I've been quite good honestly at locking in, and this week has kind of been week one of me locking back in and sort of preparing myself to be coached again. But I'm excited to have the extra accountability, I'm excited to learn more again, and I'm also excited to just get another pair of eyes on it, because I don't know if this is a case of things aren't shifting as much as I would have thought they would have done because there's something wrong, or things aren't shifting as much as I would have thought they'd done. I'm just not being as accountable to myself as I would be to someone else, which is really sad because you shouldn't need that. I am also conscious of the fact that I feel like I've been talking about leaning out since February, but if you watch my vlogs before I went on holiday when I did like a 3-week mini cut, then you will know that I did actually do it for a solid few months, and then I had like 2 months where my cardio wasn't it, my steps weren't it. I was still training but I wasn't tracking my food, so I've got no idea on my intake and stuff, so I didn't really get a clean run at that. And it's again because I got busy, and what I really didn't want to do, I was thinking about this whilst I was on holiday, was come back, start doing that again, and then I get busy and then I'm just kicking the can further and further and further down the line. I feel like I've tried things, I've tried doing it on my own. Now I just want that extra accountability and just to get to a point I'm happier with, and I think I will achieve that a lot quicker at this point with a coach, because yeah, things are about to get very, very, very busy for me, which I love and I'm so lucky for. And I'm so blessed for and I'm so grateful for. I love being busy. I was having this conversation with someone the other day. I would rather be pushed and stretch my limits in terms of work than be sidelined with things. That's just how I am. I would much rather do more and push myself than be sat twiddling my thumbs thinking, what am I doing here? Yeah, that's my fitness updates. And I know that some people find, you know, people having aesthetic goals really sad, or they think it's like evil, but to be honest, I find it really, I do find some of the stuff online quite patronising about it. Like, I personally, I don't know if anyone else feels the same, I don't want to hear from someone who has the body that everyone goes and lifts aesthetically for, that they shouldn't be training for aesthetics, and they're completely vain and there's so much more to the gym, and I'm just looking at them thinking, yeah, but you have the body that everyone goes and trains in the gym for aesthetic purposes for. So it's very easy for you to say that. Very easy for you to say that. Anyway, I need to get dressed and I will catch you when I've gotten dressed. It's now actually much later. Well, not much later, but like an hour and a half later. I went to go get dressed and then my brother came. I've been chilling with him. So it's now actually nearly 12. So I really need to get a wiggle on. So I'm going to show you my outfit of the day. Really boring, but I'm going to share it with the class. And then I'm ending this vlog here because otherwise I'm not going to have time to edit and upload this vlog for tomorrow. So outfit of the day. I've just got on my Aritzia tank. I wear these all the time. It's just like a plain cotton rib tank. I've put my hair up. I only washed this 2 days ago, but yesterday the gym that Twinkle Toes took me to, there was no aircon. It was so sweaty, like my hair was wet by the end of the session because obviously I wore it down like an idiot. So that didn't go down well. So my hair is like, basically it looks like I've not washed it for 5 days. So I've just scraped it back and put it up. I wore TDs. Obviously I've got my Aritzia tank on. I've got my Zara mid-rise jeans on that I wear literally all the time when I'm either not in these jeans, and then I've just got my Havaiana flip-flops on, which I've now thankfully worn in, and then I've got my little new addition to the family. I got this for like a lot cheaper than it should have been. If I'd have got it in the UK, I saved a ridiculous amount of money on this, which is scary. I feel like, you know how some people just go and buy a bag like it's nothing? I've been looking for a brown suede bag, just like a more casual one, for a while, and I found this one and I was like, that's pretty perfect. And because I got it so much cheaper, I was like, it's kind of a no-brainer to get it, and I love it. I think it looks really worn and it's like slouchy. It has like a vintagey look to it. It's also bigger than my Prada, so I can actually fit a lot more stuff in it. And to be fair, when I was talking to the sales assistant in the shop, I was explaining like what I usually wear at home, and the guy was like, I basically said no to another, I think they have a bag called the Adventurer bag, and they got that out and it was like flat on the bottom and then like this, and I really didn't like it. And the lady was like, I don't think she's gonna like that one. She was like, she didn't like the other one, and he was like, no, go and get her it, because I think that's the perfect middle ground. Because I was looking at 2 others and I did like them, but I was like, I don't like them enough to spend the money. Like, there's something not quite right about either of these. And then as soon as she brought this one out, I was like, you, my little male friend over there, you're a genius, because she's perfect. So we have a new little addition to the family, and she goes with all my outfits. Like, literally every single one of them. It goes with, I mean, I probably wouldn't use it for like a night out, but for day to day, I feel like it's a good bag. It was a splurge. Like I said, even though I saved the money, it was still really expensive. I always get asked when I buy things like this, is it worth it? No, of course it's not worth it. It's never going to be worth it. But just a case of, I know that with my Prada, I get so much use out of that bag. I've worn it every single day for 2 years, and I just wanted to have another option for more of like a casual bag, because even though I've worn that every day for 2 years, I just wanted a different version. But I didn't want to go cream because I feel like I've seen a lot about dyes from clothes ruining cream bags because it like rubs off against it. And like I said, I got a really good deal on it. Yeah, I didn't actually show it when I got it because I feel like sometimes I feel a little bit awkward about this sort of stuff. I mean, granted, I do have 2. It's not like I go and buy one every other weekend. So yeah, I'm gonna take myself to go and run these errands. I need to go pay this check-in, and I've got some other bits and bobs to do, and then the rest of today until I go to the cinema tonight will be spent editing this vlog so that you guys have a video. And next week's video will be an Alphalete review because I'm allowed to share the new drop from the 3rd. So hopefully, if my stuff comes in good time, I should be able to have that video up and ready for you guys on Sunday on the 3rd so I can put it live then. Yeah, let me know what other videos you guys want to be seeing. Let me know if you've got any thoughts on the vlogs lately. Do we want more vlogs? Do we want a bit more educational stuff sprinkled in? Because I feel like I've now done like 4 or 5 vlogs in a row. Let me know. It's obviously because I've been away, so I've not had time to like sit down and do like an educational one. But if you want more of like a fitness update, whatever you guys want to see, let me know, because I am basically at your beck and call, and I will make whatever content you guys want me to make. So yeah, give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, because it massively helps me out, helps the channel out, helps to make sure that I can actually justify spending hours every week on these videos to keep posting them every week. Leave a comment, like I said before, that does massively help me out as well, and subscribe if you want to and you haven't already. But other than that, I will see you guys in next week's video.